Title: The Misadventures of Bob the Forgetful Chef. Once upon a time, in a tiny kitchen tucked away in a bustling city, there lived a chef named Bob. Now Bob wasn't your typical culinary genius. No, he was more like a culinary calamity waiting to happen. One sunny morning, Bob decided to bake a cake. Armed with a recipe and a whisk, he set off on his mission. But as fate would have it, Bob's memory was as reliable as a leaky sieve. Here's how it all unfolded. The flour fiasco. Bob measured out the flour, or so he thought. Instead, he accidentally grabbed the powdered sugar. The result? A cake that looked like it had been dusted with snow from the North Pole. His guests politely called it Frosty's surprise. The vanilla vortex. Bob reached for the vanilla extract. But his mind wandered, and he ended up pouring soy sauce into the batter. The cake smelled like a sushi roll dipped in perfume. Bob proudly named it Umami Delight. The egg-siding incident. Bob cracked an egg, but it slipped from his hands and splattered on the floor. Undeterred, he scooped it up, shell and all, and tossed it into the mix. The cake now had a crunchy surprise layer. Bob dubbed it Eggshell Crunch Cake. The baking blunder. Bob preheated the oven, but he forgot to put the cake inside. Instead, he baked an empty pan for an hour. When he realized his mistake, he shrugged and served it as invisible cake. Guests raved about its lightness. The frosting fiasco. Bob whipped up a frosting using cream cheese, powdered sugar, and mustard. Yes, mustard. The cake resembled a bagel with a tangy twist. Bob called it Mustard Cream Dream. The grand reveal. As Bob presented his masterpiece to the guests, they stared in disbelief. The cake was a mishmash of flavors, textures, and questionable life choices. But then something magical happened. They burst into laughter. "Bob," said one guest, wiping tears from their eyes, "you've created the world's first hilarious cake. It's unforgettable." And so, Bob's forgetful cooking became legendary. People lined up outside his kitchen, eager to taste his latest mishaps. Bob embraced his newfound fame, proudly wearing a chef's hat, adorned with sticky notes that read, "Don't forget the salt." And is this sugar or sand? And that, my friends, is how Bob, the forgetful chef, turned kitchen disasters into comedy gold. Remember, sometimes you just need to laugh and eat cake, eggshells and all. 2 of 30, haha.